Hi, good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm going to just do a few check things. Thank you. Welcome. This is day 3 of Weaving Your Divorce Safety Net. I'm Dori Eldridge, and I just need to do a few technical things over here on my laptop. So this is your chance to get that cup of tea. I wish I had a cup of tea. So get me a cup of tea. I can live vicariously through you. So just give me a second. I'll be right with you. Just going to Got to share it a couple of places just to make sure everyone can see it. I want to get this out to as many people as possible. Oh my gosh, stop it, Facebook. I'm not going to boost it. No, I'm not going to. Stop it. Oh my gosh, Facebook. Jeez. Oops. Did the wrong thing. Okay, almost there. One more thing. One more. I'm going to share it to my group now. I started a Facebook group so people going through divorce have kind of a safe place to hang out. It's called Bud to Blooms. You can find it if you search on Bud to Bloom in Facebook. And it's where we can all support each other, and it's a place of positivity. So it's a break from some of the Facebook groups that they're really great for supporting people going through divorce, but they tend to skew angry. So if you're somebody who is a little bit past the angry stage and is looking for a place to really learn and grow and use divorce as a time of transformation, hop on over to Bud to Bloom. We're there for you. All right, so hi everybody. Good morning. I'm Dori. I'm so happy to see you on this beautiful Sunday morning. If you're watching at a different time, I hope you're having a beautiful morning there too. Just a quick little bit in case this is your first video. I am a clinical aromatherapist and holistic healing practitioner and a divorce mentor. So combining all of that education and knowledge and my own experiences going through divorce, I've created a program called the Art of Graceful Divorce that's designed to help people who see divorce as a time of transformation, for them to give them the tools they need to step into that and get there on the fast track with grace. So how I'm different from other divorce coaches is that whereas other divorce coaches focus on the very important aspects of the legal and financial angles of going through divorce, I'm here to take care of the you in divorce and help you understand ways to take care of yourself so that you know that no matter what happens, you've got what you need to get through it. So let's get started. I did say on the first day that I would tell you a little bit about my divorce story at some point, and I totally forgot to do it yesterday. So very, very briefly, my divorce story is one of reawakening. I just over the course, I went into the marriage not really being who unable to be who I really am for 1,000 different reasons. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's divorce story is different with the details. But through the no fault of my now ex-husband, I went into that marriage full of fear and anxiety and not really able to be who I am. And over the course of the years, it's just started to bother me to the point where I couldn't live with myself anymore. And I started to realize very slowly but very surely that I needed to be removed from that marriage and that partnership in order for me to do what I needed to do in this life. And what really was the real catalyst for that was the birth of my daughter. I knew I didn't want to raise her being the person that I was in that marriage, and I did not see a way to do that inside of the marriage. So I ended up finding somehow the courage. Still don't know. It was terrifying and something I thought I would never have the courage or the energy or the ability, the know-how, anything to get through it. But I did, and over the the years of doing that, I learned a lot, and I had a lot of excellent teachers, excellent mentors, read a lot of great books, took a lot of great classes and programs, and I'm offering all of that kind of compacted into a program called the Art of Graceful Divorce. But it was a journey, and even if your divorce is as pleasant as a divorce can be, it's still emotionally exhausting and draining, and it still involves your heart breaking. And I don't like the phrase heartbroken or heartbreaking heart, even though that's what it feels like, because your heart isn't actually broken, even though it does feel that way. So we're going to figure out ways of getting all that garbage off the top of it that's making you feel so much pain, and so that you can access your heart easily. And that's really the goal of today and this is the hard work. I mean, if the body stuff and the mental stuff from the previous 2 days, yeah, that's tough. But this stuff, where you get down into actually healing your heart and your emotions around everything that's coming up in divorce, this is the hard stuff. So I saved the good stuff for last. So we're here just to help you know that you've got ways to keep your heart strong and your emotions, kind of harness the power of those emotions and deal with them and heal them before they become toxic in you. So, anger is a classic, right? I mean, there is good anger. There's really great reasons to get angry. It gets you out of situations where you need to be out of them. And then the idea, though, is to then move from anger and calm everything down and move on with your life. But when anger builds up over years and years, and there's all kinds of other issues that are feeding into the anger, you're not able to release it, it becomes incredibly toxic to carry around. And anybody who is carrying around lifetimes of anger in them knows how toxic it feels. It's a constant drain and pain inside of you. So the thing with emotions is, and I'm sure you've heard this before, either you're controlling them or they're controlling you. And with divorce, when you're constantly triggered, by usually one person in particular who knows you really well, and either inadvertently or not is constantly triggering you, it's really important to figure out how to be able to recognize the emotion, but then able to push it to the side, and deal with it, release it, and then get on with it, so then you can have the full power of yourself going into these important decisions you're making and this life you're rebuilding for yourself. So if you don't take the time, this is one of the things too, is that once you feel like you're physically strong and you're able to make decisions with your mind, it's a temptation to just kind of shuffle the emotional stuff to the side and think, well, I'll deal with that when this is over. But I encourage you to deal with it as much as possible as you're going through it now, mainly because you don't want to carry a lot of this stuff into your future relationships and into your future life. So go ahead and let's start working on it now. That way, especially if you are eager to get back out into the dating scene, which a lot of people are, that's one of the first things that can disconnect with a partnership is the intimacy area, and not just physical intimacy, but the intimacy that we're actually all searching for and we hope to find someday. And so we're looking for it. We're right out of the gate. We want that. We want to reconnect with somebody, and the danger of that, if you're not emotionally healed from the last relationship, is you're going to end up repeating that stuff again. You're just going to keep repeating it with other people. They might look different and sound different, but you'll have the same teaching issue. You'll be there to learn the same things from them until you heal it. So the idea is, let's try to work towards healing it now. Excuse me. It's this time of year when the allergies start to go, hey. All right. So then there are negative emotions, of course, with divorce. There's a lot of positive emotions you're feeling. Just, oh my God, I'm doing it. This is actually happening. All these hopes and dreams you have for how you're rebuilding your life, the situation you've gotten yourself out of, your hopes, the joy, the elation, everything that goes into a new situation that in your heart is what you need to do. There's also some ones that maybe aren't negative at first, but can become negative if you let them stay in your body for too long. Things like resentment, anger, bitterness, Fear of missing out. You're afraid to, fear of missing out on everything that you feel like you've missed out on in that relationship. So you're maybe over eager to start other aspects of your life, mostly online dating. The dejection you might feel, impatience to get on with things. These are all feelings that you can harness to propel you into your new life, right? You don't want these to sit around in your body and hang out there, but you want to use them as the catalyst to push you forward. So one of the things that I would recommend that you do, specifically with anything dealing with the emotions and the heart, is knowing how to recognize the emotion and acknowledge it. And this comes down to, excuse me, my gosh, it comes down to grounding. A lot of it's grounding. So we talked about grounding yesterday in mind and also particularly in body in the first day. But one of the things you can do as you're being triggered, and this is something that is going to be like a muscle you have to develop. As you are triggered, the emotion is triggered. Let's say you see the email come from your ex or your soon-to-be ex, you see the email pop up and you're like, oh, I can't deal with this right now. You're telling yourself all these things in your head and your anger, your blood pressure, everything's going up. So just learn to do this. If you have to use sticky notes to around you as you wherever your work space is or wherever you are on your steering wheel of your car or whatever, learn to acknowledge the emotion. Like, okay, whoa, I'm feeling angry right now. Okay, so and oftentimes just understanding and emotionally and mentally connecting with the fact, okay, I'm feeling this anger is over the space of time is going to be enough to give you just a little bit of space, a microsecond of space each time, so that you can start to separate yourself from all of the things that you might do in that state that aren't in your best interest in the long run. Because you really, the goal of this is to get to the point where you can really own those emotions, even the dark stuff, even the stuff that you don't want to acknowledge, even the stuff that's behind the defensiveness. That's where we need to get. That's where you need to get to really clean house in there, so that you can go into your new life and your new relationships with as little baggage and old stuff and old garbage as possible. Right? That's really where you're going to get that life that you envision for yourself. It's out there and you can see it, you can feel it. You need a little bit of help to get past the emotional stuff that might keep trying to drag you back. We don't want that. So remind yourself too, as you're, okay, I'm angry, remind yourself that a feeling is real, but it's not reality, right? You might have heard that before too, and it's completely true. You feel angry, and that's absolutely, you feel angry, but the reason why you're angry, there are probably a 1,000 things going into that anger, one of which is the email. And just keep that in mind. That's why it's so important to work on this aspect, is because you're bringing in everything from your past into each conversation, into each interaction, and you can choose, once you get out of that heightened emotional, like the heightened part of it, once you learn to try to decompress from it quickly and stop having that knee-jerk reaction, you can then really get to a place where you're approaching even situations where they're stressful interactions, lawyer, real estate agent, financial planner, whoever you're dealing with. You can do that with the confidence that you're not going to fly off the rails, that no one's going to have that power over you, because you're the one with the power there. One thing that I would also recommend highly when dealing with releasing and learning how to define and manage your emotions is any kind of creativity that involves movement, dance, singing, anything where you can release out of your body, painting, anything where you can get like physically, like your hands in the ground, your hands, covered in paint or whatever, create and channel. And especially if you're feeling a lot of physicality with your emotion, especially things like anger and bitterness and rage and grief. These things need to be expelled. I talked yesterday about a rage workshop I went to, where it's basically just, it's a confined space, a safe space to just beat the crap out of stuff. I got a plastic like T-ball bat off of Amazon. And when I get really angry, I still will take that bat and just beat the crap out of a pillow and scream the whole time. I mean, if you're home alone, even better, because you don't want to startle everybody. But but that's the kind of thing. Get out into nature. Some great advice I got from a woman named Christina Rilo when I was really in the thick of things is to go out in nature. Because she understood that I'm just somebody who, I mean, everyone is like this. Particularly, I just need to get out into nature and ground myself. But she said, find a stick in the middle of the woods, ask permission, find a tree, ask permission of the tree, thank the tree for what you're about to do and for receiving your anger, and just start wailing on the tree with the branch. Something about doing that in nature, and I felt alone enough and safe enough. I was out in the middle of watching reservation, so no one was around, thank goodness. But and I still have the stick, the piece of stick that was all broken up. I still have that in my bedroom on my little altar to remind myself of that release. But anything you can do to ground yourself and to release that anger, because you want to keep that from building up inside of you. And not just anger, any kind of emotion you feel is becoming toxic in you. The other thing, especially for people who are prone to like to write, there's a couple of journaling prompts. The first one is the whole idea of I won't versus I can't, right? And I touched on this when I was interviewed with Susan Vernachek on Thursday on Identity Magazine. We talked about I won't versus I can and the journaling exercise here. So the idea is to to learn to identify what's really going on, what's really going on inside of you. So you're saying like, I can't release my anger. I can't. I mean, it's just, I feel it all the time. It's like, almost like I feel like I need it. So what you're saying with that, when you're saying I can't, is basically that you're powerless against this anger. And that's a lie. You're not powerless against that anger. It might feel like it. But again, feelings are not necessarily reality. You are completely capable of releasing that anger. What you're really saying is that you won't release it. It's kind of it's an irresponsible way of saying that you won't release it. So there's the treasure, right? There's the treasure to dig for. Why won't you release it? So in your journal, you'll write, I can't release my anger, or whatever it is that you're struggling with at this particular moment. I can't release my anger. Underneath that, right, I won't release my anger. And really sit with that statement, I won't release my anger. Let that sink in. And then take a deep breath and then ask yourself why. And just write why. And then write down whatever download you get, whatever comes up, even if it seems, don't judge anything that you write. Just write with a completely open mind and heart. Write why you won't. Then look at that statement and then ask yourself why to that statement. Write why down again, or why not. Or phrase it however you need to phrase it to make it so that you dig a little bit deeper, and answer it again. Then read that statement and sit with that, and then write down why or why not again. And you keep going layer after layer until it reaches the end of a trail. Every time I've done this, what I end up with is like miles from where I started, and it's always been something like, whoa, yeah, okay. And that's how you start to heal these things. You've got to get below the surface. You've got to get past the defensiveness. You've got to get past all of the justifications that you've built up. These all have served a purpose, but maybe that purpose is no longer what you actually need anymore. Maybe that needs to shift. And this is one of the ways that you can help yourself do that gently. The goal is to start to uncover and understand the real issues so that you can heal them. The other journaling thing I absolutely adore. This is another one from Debbie Ford. I'm a huge Debbie Ford fan. She does a lot of work about our dark sides, which it's fantastic. It's fantastic stuff. So one of my favorite things that she suggested people do is you've got this whole idea of truth versus drama. Oftentimes we create drama to avoid dealing with certain situations. We've all, if anyone who's raised a child has seen this in action, right? They've learned to create drama so that maybe you're not going to notice other things going on. And you do that to yourself. I do that to myself. Everybody on this planet does that to themselves. Until you learn, there's probably people out there that don't do this, but I'm not sure I know any. So anyway, what you want to do is you want to learn how to look at a situation as it's happening and understand that there's two sides of it. There's the drama side, probably what you're feeling immediately, and there's the actual truth of it. And once you can start being able to quickly see and understand that there is a truth under there that has no emotional content, you can actually start moving forward with the divorce, with anything else that happens in your life, with a lot of certainty that you can handle it. And you're going to handle it well, and you're going to handle it so that when you look back on it in a few years, you're proud of yourself and not like, oh God, why did I do that? So the idea of this exercise is to, again, take out your journal or a piece of paper or whatever, write down your divorce story with all of the drama and the emotion that you feel about it. Make it like, like don't hold back at all. Pack in everything that you feel about this divorce, your ex, your life, like just all the drama, everything you think might happen. I mean, just the whole thing, all the emotion. And if you think you're not taking it far enough, take it further. Just pack it full of, make it the emotional thing, full of like everything you think and everything you feel about this divorce. Okay, that's going to take a little bit. So you'll probably, set aside some time for that. And then once you're done with that, okay, good. So you've got that. Now you're going to get a little bit of distance, take a deep breath, maybe move around a little bit. I really highly recommend that you move your body in between these two things, just to kind of get grounded again and get a fresh space inside of you. And now you're going to write down, because what you're going to write down next is the truth of the divorce, stripped away of all emotion. These are just the facts as they happen. And if you find yourself writing down something and you can kind of honestly think, okay, well, that's probably, there's some emotional editorial work I'm doing there. So let me strip that out and really just write down the fact. Now you've got two things. You've got the facts, which is probably a list, a bullet list. We're not writing prose here, we're writing just like a bullet list of maybe 10, 12, whatever, however many facts you come up with that are going on right now. And then you've got all the drama. Now that you've seen the facts of it, so sorry, really look back at your story and just take it line by line. This first sentence, okay, how much of this is over here on this truth? And how much of it is drama, emotional stuff that is not necessarily part of this list of facts? This is distinguishing between those two things and learning how to do that, getting some distance emotionally, really allows your higher self and your higher power to guide you. You can hear your intuition a lot better when you're not in a overly dramatic, overblown state. Intuition requires quiet internally. It's that still, quiet voice, right? And you have to be able to hear it. So part of that is being able to strip the drama out of the situations. Is that easy? No, nothing about anything I'm saying today this is not the easy stuff. This is the advanced, training right here. The thing to keep in mind is that drama keeps us stuck in excuses. And it protects us from, like I was saying, it protects us from having to look at our dark sides and what we really need healing with, and it prevents us from healing. The idea of going through this divorce and using it as a transformation is for you to end up on the other side of this glorious. in this, feeling like this incredible you, right? And in order to do that, we've got to, there's some things that need to be taken care of. And this is the stuff that is going to be hard to look at, because it's probably going to involve not just this relationship you're separating from now, but all relationships. You'll probably end up seeing a pattern if you really start to look. But that's a whole other thing. I mean, I go through this quite a bit in the Art of Graceful Divorce. This is a huge part of it. And if you do feel like this is a place where I actually recommend strongly that people find a really heart-centered therapist who can really help them work through this really hard stuff. Because this is the important stuff. All right, so just a few things to wrap it up. Excuse me. Okay, so there's another visualization. I love doing visualizations that you can use to. What you want to do is when things start to really go off the rails emotionally for you, and you've got a second to just take a deep breath. What's really great is to have a very clear idea of how you want your life to look when you're through this. And if you haven't already, I would really recommend that you just pour yourself a glass of delicious wine or tea or whatever it is that you would make it special for you. Put on some beautiful music. Do it at a time when you've got about an hour or so to yourself, where you can just really put in some really comfortable clothes and really write down. Or if you're somebody who's a visual artist, paint or draw, photograph, whatever what you want your life to feel like. And people use vision boards for these. I've used vision boards before, where you cut out things out of magazines, or again, if you're an artist, you can take different works of art that you've done and really create a board. It doesn't have to be huge. It can just be on a piece of paper that you can tuck in your notebook or something, of how you want to feel in your new life, and anchor yourself to that. Once you've got that created, that's a treasure that you can keep. You can even take a picture of it and use it as your screensaver on your phone. So every time you open your phone, you see it there. But when things start to feel like you feel like you're getting derailed, just take a second and just visit that place, because it's yours. It's waiting for you. It's going to be there when you're ready. It's not going to go away. Don't worry about it taking too long. You will get it. But just remind yourself that it's there for you. Some essential oils that you can use for your heart chakra. These are going to sound familiar because they're the same ones I recommended you use pretty much for calming yourself down before you go to sleep. Bergamot, geranium, lavender, and ylang ylang. I would recommend, geranium's a new one on the list. Just excellent for harmonizing the body, just about every aspect of the body. So put those in a foot bath, put those in a diffuser, put them in a spray bottle, shake it up and spray around you. I would recommend you use high quality essential oils. I'm happy to give you some suggestions for that. Just because you're using this for healing work. So I would get the highest quality, highest vibration oils you can. Flower essences. I explained flower essences yesterday, but these, there's one called Rescue Remedy that Bach makes, B-A-C-H. It's called Rescue Remedy. This is my go-to for any kind of a situation where I'm feeling like overwhelmed or anxious, or feeling basically anything I don't want to feel, or if it feels uncomfortable to feel. It's great before you go into a big meeting, into any kind of high pressure situation, because it works to ease the body out of anxiety and panic and states of where you feel incredibly unsafe, things like that. This is another good one to take before you go to sleep, if you're having a lot of trouble sleeping, because it just kind of helps the body release all the stuff that's keeping it awake. And just to wrap it up, talking about feminine powers, and again, when I say feminine, I don't mean gender, I mean energetic. Everyone has feminine energy inside of them, whether they choose to tap into that or not, is, something that is a personal thing. But one of the feminine powers is intuition and trust in that intuition. And I cannot recommend, everybody has it. everybody is born with intuition, that knowing inside of you. I believe it's, it comes to us from God, from a higher power, as a way to guide us. And if it just takes quiet, and you can learn how to hear your intuition if you don't feel like you understand it or know how to hear it. I actually have, I can help you with that. I know people who specialize in that, helping people hear that. But it's the way that you're going to get the guidance that is going to be good for you and your family for the long haul, not just the short-term knee-jerk stuff, but the helping you be who you need to be and who you really are, stripped away from all of the toxic emotions you might be feeling right now. Okay, so that was some emotional stuff, and I know that's not the easy stuff, but it's the stuff that's going to make the biggest difference, I feel. If any of this was helpful to you, please comment. Let me know. If you want to hear more about the Art of Graceful Divorce, you can go to www.artofgracefuldivorce.com. I'm actually looking to take on 3 clients right now at a very, very, very reduced rate, just so I can work through the material and get your feedback. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, certainly private message me. And anyway, it's been such a joy having you, and I hope you get something out of this. It's I know you can do it. You can get through this, and it's going to be incredible. And feel free to check out the other 2 videos as well. These will all be on my website too, and on my YouTube channel. You can go to my website, Art of Graceful Divorce, to check out the videos anytime. They'll be on Facebook, so you'll have plenty of opportunities. All right, well, you guys have a great day, and anyway, just enjoy your day. It's beautiful, and you got a whole day ahead of you to do whatever you need to do to get yourself moving in the right direction. All right, be well.